Welcome back, everyone. I just got to start by saying when you're done watching this video, please go look at your collection, because if you have any cards like this, they might be worth a lot more than you think. Okay, so what are we talking about today? One of the strangest, funniest, and somehow most expensive niches in the entire Pokemon hobby. Fart swirls. Yes, actual fart swirls. If you've been in the hobby for any amount of time, you've probably heard somebody say, wow, that swirl placement is great, really nice, unfortunate. There's a lot of opinions on that. So today we're breaking down what exactly a fart swirl holographic Pokemon card is, why people collect them, how much they're selling for, and whether this market is a joke or if it's actually here to stay. Let's get into it. First things first, what even is a fart swirl? In vintage and modern Pokemon holographic cards, you'll often see a swirl pattern in the holofoil. These are natural printing effects, not intentional designs on the cards. Normally, collectors love swirls. They're unique, they add personality, and no two are exactly the same. But sometimes that swirl appears directly behind the Pokemon's butt. And when that happens, congratulations, you've got yourself a fart swirl. It looks like the Pokemon is ripping one, or just finished ripping one, or is aggressively mid-rip. Could be Charizard, Blastoise, Gyarados, it doesn't matter. If the swirl is placed right, or wrong, depending on your opinion of this whole thing, it qualifies. And yes, this is 100% serious. This is not a joke. Like many things in the Pokemon hobby, fart swirls did start as a joke. In early message boards, Reddit threads, the collectors pointing and laughing. But then something interesting happened. People realized that the swirl placements are genuinely rare. And perfect fart placement is even rarer. Rarity plus humor plus Pokemon equals collectors opening their wallets. The hobby already celebrates error cards, misprints, off-center cards, ink dots, things like that. So a fart swirl fits right in. Eventually, the joke stopped being ironic and became a legitimate subcategory of the hobby. Now, this is where things get wild. Let's be clear. A fart swirl does not automatically make a card more valuable, but under the right conditions, it can add real premiums. Here's what matters. 1, the Pokemon, obviously. Fart swirl Pikachu, funny. Fart swirl Charizard, different story. High-end Pokemon benefit the most. Pokemon like Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur, Gyarados, Mewtwo. Huge premiums on cards like that. 2, swirl placement. Clearly behind the Pokemon, close to the rear, with no ambiguity. If someone has to squint and say, maybe, that's not elite fart swirl status. That is not what we're looking for. 3, the grade. A PSA 9 or PSA 10 fart swirl can sell for 10 to 30% more, sometimes even higher if two collectors want it badly enough and get into a bidding war. Yes, 2 grown adults bidding against each other over a fart joke. It is what it is. And 4, eye appeal. If the swirl is bold, centered, and obvious, that matters. If a swirl is weak, it's going to have a weak premium. What makes fart swirls fascinating isn't just a joke, it's how consistent the demand is. These cards sell faster than normal copies, they get shared on social media, and they end up in private collections instead of being relisted. They create conversation, and in collectibles, attention is often currency. A fart swirl card gets posted on Instagram, ends up in Reddit threads, becomes a flex piece in somebody's collection. It's not necessarily about seriousness. It's kind of about personality. So the big question, is the fart swirl market a bubble? Honestly, probably not. Here's why. The swirls aren't being printed intentionally. You can't manufacture perfect placement. The supply is naturally very limited. And Pokemon collectors love weird, unique stuff. Will every fart swirl double in value? No, obviously not. But will a clean, high-grade, iconic Pokemon fart swirl continue to have demand? Almost certainly. This niche sits in the same category as error collectors, swirl hunters, oddity collectors, and those groups aren't going anywhere. Let's be responsible for a second. You should not overpay massively, buy bad cards just because they're funny, ignore condition and Pokemon choice. But if you come across a card like this at a small premium on a strong Pokemon with a great grade, is it dumb to buy it? Honestly, not really. At worst, you own a funny card. At best, you own a conversation piece that somebody else really wants that you might be able to sell at a premium someday. The Pokemon hobby is massive. There's room for serious investors, nostalgia collectors, competitive players, and yes, even fart swirl enthusiasts. And that's what makes it fun. So next time someone laughs at a swirl placement, remember, someone out there is absolutely willing to pay more for it. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the weirdest corners of the hobby, please hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what's the best fart swirl Pokemon you've ever seen. Thanks for coming. We'll catch you on the next one.